Vegetable gardening is one of the hottest topics, and it's something we're going to be talking about all year. And one of the best things that you can do, it's great for the family and friends, is to be growing your own starting from seed.
It's fun and it's easy, but there are some really important things you need to know about starting seed so that you're successful at it and you have a nice quality plant to set out later. And we're going to talk about those little few important rules that you need to know.
You got to follow the rules.
First off, start with a good quality seed starting mix. Not a potting soil. Seed starting mix is much, much finer, and that comes into play a little bit later, as we'll show you.
And I love this because it's got a resealable bag.
Oh yeah, yeah. That
So
keeps all the amoebas out. Start with a nice clean pot, preferably new pots. This is what you're going to do your seeding into. So here's what you do. You fill up your pot. All right, MJ, so we got a pot filled up here. All right, there's for you. And we're going to choose some seed. Let's plant some squash seed.
This is a great seed for kids.
That comes up quickly and it's very easy to do, but it's big seed. And big seed means you seed it sparsely in the pot, not very many. So in this pot, we're going to put maybe 5 seeds. What do you think?
Sure.
So there's 5 seeds put in there. And then you just take some more seed starting mix and sprinkle it over the top. Now we need to do what the pros do out in the greenhouse. And that is provide bottom heat, which we have here with our seed starting mat right there. You can buy that at any garden center. We've got a tray so that it doesn't get messy in the house. Put your seed starter there, water it in. Now we need to provide humidity. So we've got our humidity dome, which is what the greenhouse does. This is a cool little dome in that it has vents on top. So as your seeds start to germinate, you can open the vents and get more air circulation in the dome.
That's kind of new.
It is kind of new.
I like that.
And the reason that's important is if you leave it really humid and stale inside there when those plants come up, you get mold and damping off and your seedlings fall over. Now, last thing you want to do is provide enough light. And that's where one of these light fixtures come in that's adjustable. And you just drop it down to, how far? Right on top. So it's as close to the seeds as you can get. And one of these fixtures is fine for starting a few seeds. But if you do a lot of seeds, you want to go with something that holds 4, 6, even 8 bulbs. So you get plenty of light to keep those seedlings nice and short and stocky. And as they grow, they should start to look like this. Right? So those can go into our little dome, and once they've grown up, you take the dome off because you don't need the humidity anymore, so it's gone. And you want to keep your lights down as close to the plants as you can without being right on top of them and smashing them. So they'll be right underneath the lights. And once they get to this stage where they've got a lot of nice little leaves, and see they weren't seeded too thickly so that they're not stretching.
Lots of room to grow.
They're not. This one over here was seeded way too thickly. There's way too many plants in this pot, don't you think?
It's a little crowded.
It's crowded. See how they've all stretched? These will never make decent plants. So what do we do with things like that? All right. So they've gotten to this size. Now they're ready to transplant into their individual pots. And you can use, the peat type pots.
They work great, especially with the kids, because they can even decorate them.
And you can use plastic pots if you have those around. And if you've been planting bedding plants for very long, you probably have lots of these around.
Just clean them.
Yeah, just clean them. And the way to work this is you just gently ease your plant out of the pot.
Ease it out.
And gently break apart the root ball so we can get to the individual plants, and then handle them by their leaves, because leaves are expendable and the stems are not.
Look at how nice, even though this pot was so full, look at how nice the root system is.
Yeah, it's got a great root system there. So you've got your new pot all ready to go. You make a hole in the middle, you drop your new plant in there, not too deep, water it in, and set it back under the lights. And now you're ready to go, and that will continue to grow. I have seen the light. You've seen the light? Have you seen the fertilizer?
No, what fertilizer today?
These plants, as they've come up and grown, they're going to need to be fed on a regular basis.
It's like vitamins.
It is like vitamins, and it keeps them nice and healthy and stocky and resisting diseases and insects. And you want to feed with something very mild for the first few weeks of their life.
Well, now you know how to grow vegetables. It's really easy and a lot of fun to do. Coming up on Diggin', we are going to cover all of those spring vegetables that you can plant early, as well as forcing bulbs. That and more on Diggin'.